I am Nataliia Lototska, a lecturer at the Department of Foreign Languages and Translation at Lviv State University of Life Safety. I would like to present you my study named Statistical Characteristics of Roman Ivanychuk's Idiolect based on writer's text corpus. The paper presents the statistical study of Roman Ivanychuk's historical novels. His Idiolect hasn't been the subject of linguistic and statistical research yet. The analysis of author's text and its lexicon reflects the individuality of linguistic preference. The text is the basis for the Idiolect study as well. The author's lexicon reflects the Idiolect more specifically. The use of corpus-based approach and the application of statistical methods allow to find some of his distinctive markers of writing manner. The statistical approach demonstrates the richness of the lexicon of linguistic personality, allows to identify quantitative markers of the author's idiolect, and gives them qualitative interpretation. Statistical approaches may reveal characteristics which differ them one from the others and therefore present individual creative manner of a writer. The subjects of the research is the statistical characteristics of Roman Ivanychuk's historical text. To accomplish integrated study for Roman Ivanychuk, the corpus his prose fiction text has been created. This corpus comprises 16 historical novels and one historical trilogy written throughout 1962-2016. Total corpus size is presented on the slide. To carry out integrated research of the author's Idiolect, the subcorpus of Ukrainian prose fiction was created in the GRAC by applying filters like style fiction, original language Ukrainian, definite time span. Total corpus size is presented on the slide. Frequency of parts of speech, vocabulary ranking, morphological and statistical indicators for vocabulary, statistical characteristics of the vocabulary and text, display frequency patterns of the Idiolect. The study of the parts of speech frequency in the text is essential for revealing individual writers' characteristics. To present the statistical characteristics of nouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, prepositions in Roman Ivanychuk's texts, SQL queries are used. The relative frequency of the mentioned parts of speech in Roman Ivanychuk's subcorpus have been calculated and are manifested in the table. The obtained data in Roman Ivanychuk's subcorpus and those from the subcorpus of Ukrainian prose fiction are compared and presented in the table on the slide. The frequency of the parts of speech in Roman Ivanychuk text corpus correlates with the data retrieved in Ukrainian prose fiction text corpus. However, the frequency of nouns in Roman Ivanychuk text corpus is higher by 5%. Preposition is by 11% than in Ukrainian prose fiction text corpus, in contrast to the frequency of adverbs, which is higher by 20%. The study of Roman Ivanychuk's Idiolect at the morphological level presents morphological statistical characteristics, such as the index of epithetization, the index of verbal definitions, the level of nominalization. The data in this table indicates that the manner of adjectives per noun in Roman Ivanychuk text corpus is higher than in the Ukrainian prose fiction text corpus. The ratio of adverbs to verbs demonstrates higher number of verb collocations in Roman Ivanychuk text corpus than in Ukrainian prose fiction text corpus. This data serves as an Idiolect peculiarity. In the study, the statistical parameters of authors, vocabulary, and text are the following: text size, size of vocabulary of lexemes, average word frequency in the text, hapax legomena, exclusivity index of vocabulary, exclusivity index of text, concentration index of vocabulary, concentration index of text. The novel Vocabular stupy comprises the highest rate of text size, the largest vocabulary of lexemes, the highest rate of hapax legomena, the highest rate of concentration index of vocabulary. Meanwhile, the novel holds the lowest indicator of text size, the smallest vocabulary of lexemes, the lowest rate of hapax legomena, the lowest rate of concentration index of vocabulary, although in the novel there is the highest rate of diversity index, the highest rate of exclusivity index of vocabulary, as compared with the novel Vocabular stupy, where there are the lowest indexes of diversity and vocabulary exclusivity. In Roman Ivanychuk's text, hapax legomena involve 16,540 words. Exclusive vocabulary, 33%, predominates high-frequency vocabulary, 28%, in the author's lexicon. These data indicate the diversity and the richness of Roman Ivanychuk's vocabulary. The part of higher frequency vocabulary is much higher in Ukrainian prose fiction text corpus because its size is 62 times bigger and diversity index is 10 times lower than in Roman Ivanychuk text corpus, which explains the outweigh law. The relatively small number of high-frequency vocabulary and relatively large number of words with frequency 1 indicate a great diversity of vocabulary in Roman Ivanychuk's text. Frequency ranking of vocabulary provides information about the core and periphery of writer's dictionary. Frequency rank patterns represent the text structure and are interpreted as manifestation of individual preferences of linguistic personality in the choice of use of certain lexical units. The vocabulary of Roman Ivanychuk's text and Ukrainian prose fiction text is divided into 4 zones according to the interval of ranks. The first zone in Roman Ivanychuk text corpus is the most consistent in terms of contentious words. Hapax legomena covers 33%. The author's vocabulary. This data manifests the uniqueness of the author's idiolect. The second zone includes the largest number of general words. The third was specific to literary style. The fifth zone consists of official and informative general words, which serve as formal markers for text attribution. Much less coverage with high-frequency vocabulary is detected in Roman Ivanychuk's text as compared to Ukrainian prose fiction text, which makes his text unique. A specific feature of frequency zone in Roman Ivanychuk text corpus is higher coverage with low-frequency vocabulary and low coverage with high-frequency vocabulary than in Ukrainian prose fiction text corpus. The statistical characteristics of text and vocabulary allow to determine the qualitative features of the writer's idiolect objectively. As a result of the research, the distribution of the frequency of parts of speech, concordance, morphological, statistical characteristic of vocabulary, and statistical parameters of vocabulary and text, frequency zones of vocabulary are presented and analyzed. Obtained data of parts of speech, text structure, vocabulary, frequency zone in Roman Ivanychuk's text corpus are different from those in Ukrainian fiction prose text corpus, which in its turn demonstrates the specificity of the author's idiolect. This type of study can be used not only for idiolect investigation, but can also serve as data in other contexts, like authorship attribution, stoichiometric studies, and for literature researches. Thank you for your attention.